Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video because it actually was requested by you guys. So I'm very excited to bring to you guys a full review on the Mary Kay Timewise Matte Wear Foundation. It is one of my favorite foundations. I like it a lot in the summertime when I want my foundation to stay on and not budge. So without further ado, let's just get right into the review and demo. Okay, so jumping right in, pardon my appearance. I literally just woke up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna film a video. This is not a first impression whatsoever. I've used this foundation many times and I really do like it. And I had a comment recently asking to review the Mary Kay Luminous Timewise foundation. I think that's what it is, but I actually don't have that one. So I figured why not review this one, the matte one, since I own it, and then I can later review the luminous one when I get it because I'm gonna order it today. So one thing that I want to start off with is that Mary Kay does have a pretty good shade range. I think there's 23. I just counted, darn it. So there's 23 shades in their collection, which is amazing, and they kind of separate them in 3 different categories. So there's ivory, beige, and bronze. And I mean, in those categories you have beige has 8 shades, bronze has 8 shades, and ivory has 7 shades. I actually own beige 5, 6, 7, 8. I find beige 5 is my best match. It's actually still a little too dark for me. I'm really interested to try actually one of the darker ivory shades to see if that kind of fits better for my winter complexion. So we're just gonna jump right into the demo, and then afterwards, once it's on, I'll kind of talk about the packaging, the price, and all that good stuff, because I'm really just eager to get makeup on my face right now because I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and I'm not loving it. So I am very quickly going to prime. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Primer. Really like this stuff, but I need something under my skin. Since this is a matte foundation and I've been a little bit on the dry side, I'm just gonna put a hydrating primer on. You can use whatever primer you like with this one. If you really have oily skin, you can use a mattifying primer and that will really look nice. Okay, so this is beige 5 here. This is what the packaging looks like super quickly. It's just a squeezy tube. Really like that. If it's a squeezy tube, perfect. If it's not, you need a pump. End of story. I just squeezed a little bit on the back of my hand and I'm actually gonna go in with a beauty blender to kind of buff it into my skin. I like using a beauty blender with the majority of my foundations, but I also like using it when I know that my foundation might be a little bit too dark because it kind of shears it out a smidgen. So yeah, you can see it's not too bad. You can see that a little does go a long way. Like that was just one plop onto the skin, and I went all the way from the chin all the way up. I even got some of my forehead done. So you can see that the product does distribute really well. I'm gonna zoom you in. So this is one really quick layer. It's Sunday, so I like having a pretty sheer coverage on a Sunday. I think if it was like a Saturday night, maybe I'd go in a little bit more, but I'm actually okay with this. It just covered really nicely any of the redness and just really evened out my skin tone and matched it to my neck, which is really nice. So that's exactly what I look for it in a foundation. It dries really quickly, so you do have to move quite quickly, but I mean, it's a lovely finish. So I'm just gonna quickly do this other side. Add a little bit more to my chin. I've been having a lot of problems with my chin lately. Hormonal acne. I find this foundation works really well with the beauty blender. So that is what the full finish looks like when it's just applied. This is just foundation and no concealer, and I'm super impressed with it. I think it's really nice. Again, you can definitely build this up to be a lot more of a full coverage, but I like just applying a small amount and really distributing across like the entire face. And then you can see that you get a nice coverage and everything looks nice and even, but you can still see, you know, my freckles, my beauty marks, you know, all that good stuff. But the redness is gone and everything looks super even and clean, which I love. That's exactly what I look for in a foundation. The foundation does have a matte finish, so it does dry quite quickly, which I don't mind, especially using a damp beauty blender. You can really move quite quickly, so you're not gonna have any problems blending it out. But if you do use a brush, then you're gonna wanna work in sections, kind of like I just did, because it's gonna make it easier to blend everything out before it dries and what have you. So don't, like, I wouldn't apply it to, like, I wouldn't dot it onto the face and then buff it out and then move on because it's already there. It might dry and be hard to kind of distribute. I would kind of do one side, and then that's good. I'm gonna jump off really quickly and just do a very light rest of the makeup, concealer, bronzer, blush, all that good stuff. But I don't think I'm gonna set it, and if I do, I'll let you guys know. All right, so I am done my makeup, as you guys can see, and I know I said simple, but it is. Like, I got nothing really going on the eyes, very minimal on the cheeks, and then I just got this really gorgeous orange red lip, which I'm totally in love with. It is the Givenchy Le Rouge lipstick, Mandarin Bolero, which I love. Anyways, I'll list it down below for you guys. But nonetheless, back to the foundation. I wanted to give you guys a quick view of what the foundation looks like when it has the rest of makeup kind of complete. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. I really like this foundation. It is a matte foundation, so I do like to add a little bit of highlight on the cheekbones, you know, add a little something to give a little complexion and glow to it so it's not totally flat. But it's not one of those foundations that really dry out your skin entirely, which I really like. It still really keeps moisture in, which I love. A lot of times with matte foundations, the formulas are super drying, but this one, I don't find that at all. And actually right now I am struggling big time with dry patches on my cheek areas and nothing cling to them with this foundation, so I'm very happy about that. I also don't find the need to set this foundation. I just set where I put my concealer, so under the eyes, center of the forehead, and just around my mouth in dark areas. Otherwise, I did not set the rest of my face, and my bronzer, blush, and highlight went on beautifully. They blended out nicely on top of the foundation, which was lovely. So just a little summary of how the application went. But on back to the nitty-gritties of the foundation. So I mentioned quickly that the foundation comes in a squeezy tube, which I actually don't mind because I find it easy to get the product out. It's all about getting the product out, having it be accessible, and then also the cleanliness. So that's the one thing with squeezy tubes, is that it sometimes gets a little messy, but overall you can still get the product out and you can use the entirety of the product, which is really nice. And you won't have to worry about like a glass bottle trying to get to the bottom of it, etc, etc. So I actually don't mind the squeezy tube. It's nice. The only complaint that I have about the squeezy tube is that there's no visibility of the foundation at all. And even on the box, it comes like in a little box like this as well. There's no visibility on what the color looks like. Mind you, you do shop Mary Kay online where they do have pictures of the swatches and stuff like that, and also through consultants where I'm sure they help you. So I can kind of see the reasonings behind not necessarily needing to have it, but it would be nice even just if you have a couple of shades in your collection and you want to see the difference just visibly. That would be nice. So that's the only downside to the packaging in my opinion, but I do kind of understand why it is the way that it is. It reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation. I think that would be a really great comparison. And this one here does go for $23.50 Canadian, which I think is a very great price. You do get quite a bit of product. You get 29 milliliters and 1 fluid ounce, which is a pretty decent amount of foundation in my opinion. It's kind of like the average amount that you get in a tube of foundation. The foundation itself sits really nicely on the skin, and it does wear for 12 hours in my opinion. I used to wear this foundation all the time to work, and the reason is because I had super oily skin. My skin's kind of changed over the years. It's not as oily anymore, which is weird but nice. It's kind of more of a combination. But when I first started working at an office, it was very oily to the point where like by 3 o'clock, my skin was like breaking up and it was awful. So I started wearing this to work, this and the L'Oreal Pro Matte, and I loved the combination of those two. Like they're the best matte foundations in my opinion. But one thing that I like about this, which is what I showed in my demo today, is that a little goes such a long way and you don't have to wear it like full coverage. Because for me personally, I don't like wearing a full coverage foundation to the office every day. I like looking like it's a little bit more on the natural side and that I'm just evening out my complexion and just kind of looking more put together, and that's it. So that's one great thing about this foundation, is that you can kind of sheer it out or be a little bit more on the minimal side, or you can go heavy duty, full coverage, glam all the way, which is excellent. So I love the fact that you have both options, but then both options are still matte. So that wraps up my review on this foundation. Overall, I think it's obvious. I give this foundation 2 thumbs up. I'm so shocked that I hadn't reviewed it prior here on my channel. I was kind of going through my videos thinking like, why didn't I review it? I don't understand. I always review my Mary Kay products, but I think it's because I did a full Mary Kay full face tutorial. So I'll link that down below so you guys can see what it looks like with all other Mary Kay products, because I know a lot of you guys here on my channel love Mary Kay. So I'll link that down below so you guys can quickly jump over to that video and see what that tutorial is all about, and it does use this. But anyways, that concludes this review on the Mary Kay Timewise Matte Wear Foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if there's any Mary Kay products you want me to review. I'm gonna get my hands on the luminous version of this foundation, so that'll be up soon. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and of course, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.